Donald Trump had a speech recently, and a lot of people were buzzing about it because it didn't seem crazy for once. I thought that this was interesting, and so I decided today for this video, I wanted to talk about American politics. Now, I've heard this only in rumor because I haven't experienced any other politics, but I hear other countries are less televised. They're less of a big deal. It's not like a fashion show where everyone's just showing off all the time, which I think gets to be a bit of a problem. We're all about speeches and being showmanship and being really charismatic and all this stuff. See, the problem with that is most of the time it results in presidents not being quite what you bargain for. Just looking at what a president says in a speech, for example, isn't really a great indicator of how great of a president they're going to be. It's kind of nice if they have a good speech, but it's not a great indicator. In the past, all of Donald Trump's speeches have been very unreserved, and he just said everything and said some stupid stuff and alienated a lot of left-wing sort of people. And recently, with his latest speech, he changed that, and it sounded very reasonable. People saying it sounded presidential. But the thing is, the only thing that actually changed is that he had a better speechwriter. All right, I'm going to say this. I didn't listen to the speech at all. I think I heard a couple things or something while I was walking into the kitchen, and I didn't really listen to it. And I don't listen to many speeches because I'm a horrible citizen, partly, but also partly because I don't find much legitimacy in them. Let's just take Donald Trump for an example, with his latest speech being very different from what the world has been used to. His policies haven't really changed. I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, but the speech isn't reflecting him as a president. It's not like overnight he suddenly became a reasonable, normal president. He's still the same guy he was before, and overall he's trying to do the same things he was doing before. The thing about this speech that everyone likes compared to his other ones is it's all rhetoric. And his speeches were all rhetoric, just maybe shittier rhetoric. That's the point of a speech, is it's just supposed to be, it's a persuasive piece. It takes everything he's gonna do and puts it in the best possible light. And it doesn't change the facts at all. Good speech, bad speech, the shit he's gonna do is the same regardless. This is the problem with American politics. I hear in other countries there's less showmanship in it, and they just do their thing, and it's kind of boring. Here, there's celebrities. You literally have celebrities being elected president. Ronald Reagan was an example. Donald Trump is pretty much an example of that too. I'm not saying they aren't qualified to be president, but they aren't necessarily experienced in the field, if you know what I mean. The only common denominator is really that they're old and that they're Americans. As long as they're old, they can maintain that sort of politician persona. So the fact that we televise all these big speeches and make a big deal and get everybody involved is a good thing, because we're democracy and we want everybody to be involved. And if it wasn't like this, everybody wouldn't be involved. But the problem with that is that everybody's getting involved, and a lot of the people just take shit at surface value. Like, they just see these big flashy speeches full of rhetoric, and they just think, I like this guy more, or this guy said some things that sound nicer, or maybe my values move a little bit this way, a little bit better, and that guy had good speeches. If Donald Trump did the same things he's doing now, but from the beginning his speechwriter was as good as this last speech he had, he wouldn't seem nearly as crazy. If he was a little more careful during his interviews, better speechwriter, like I said, everything, he wouldn't seem crazy. People would be like, well, Donald Trump's a bit iffy, but I guess we'll see what happens. But no, now these liberals are like, he's a monster, he's Hitler, America's screwed. I'm not gonna lie, there's some things he does that are pretty questionable to like actually like what's happening, but most of the stuff is pretty blown out of proportion. But see, that's the other issue, is that because a lot of people who don't understand really what's going on take part in our election, which we want them to, it leads to things like this. I'm not saying Donald Trump's a bad president. I'm saying he could be not that bad and be depicted as worse, or he could be really bad and be depicted as better. It's a fashion show. It's a fashion show for not a fashion role. It's like, who can make the best outfit? And whoever wins gets to run the country. Okay, that doesn't make any sense at all, because our country is not based around fashion, though it is based around showmanship in a lot of ways. In the modern age, dreams and aspirations and the most lofty of careers involve the sort of showmanship that is the same thing that sort of is involved in the presidency. Everybody, when they talk about their dreams, they want to be actors, they want to be musicians, or they want to be YouTubers. They want these big flashy jobs. And you know, so American politics is heavily influenced by that, because our politics are so televised. Well, not just televised, internetized, all kinds of itized. If we didn't have this sort of showmanship level of democracy, I don't think it would be necessarily a bad thing. Less people would be involved, which isn't great, but the thing is, the people that are involved would really know what the fuck they're talking about. Might have half as many people voting, or even less. But these people will be following this shit around, and they know what's going on. But then again, that could also put us in a position where the people who know what's going on have an advantage over the people who don't know what's going on. So, I mean, I think the way we do it is fine, is probably better, but it just begs the question, how could it be better? I don't know. I really wish being a scientist was cooler, because then technology would move forward faster, because everybody would be trying to top each other in science, and it would be fucking awesome. But now everybody's trying to be a fucking actor or whatever, or just live normally and just get a normal job. But even so, that's ridiculous, because everyone's trying to be a lawyer or a doctor, and nobody's trying to be boring old mathematician guy. I mean, okay, whatever's cool is cool. I just wish science was cooler, because then the world would be a better place. I think that is the one field where the world would be the best place if we like focused on that. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, if you want science to be cool, then why aren't you being a scientist? Well, I'm not gonna make science cooler by being a scientist, okay? If I wasn't doing what I'm doing, which is complicated, I would probably be a scientist, because that's cool. The only problem is that scientists don't always make a lot. That's another problem, is you go to university to work as a scientist, and you teach and make bad money, and then you do some research, and that's cool, but you don't make very good money, and it's uncool, so nobody wants to do it. But no, if you want to influence the world and change what's cool, you have to become an influencer. Let's say that I do want to make science cooler. I'm not gonna do that by becoming a scientist. Sure, if I had more experience with science, then I could do more sciencey things and show it off. But at the same time, then I'd just be a scientist who just does science and doesn't have a lot of reach. Right now, I'm trying to become an influencer. You know, just a voice, just a nice voice that people want to respect. And well, so far it's not going great, so maybe I should have become a scientist, but I'm just gonna keep trying. So I'm not going back to college. So this is what it is. This is what's happening. Oh, this is gonna be a long video. Shit. I don't want to make them too long, because then I don't think people want to sit through them. But I mean, making them long is also like the thing you do now. So maybe I need to talk more and get it to 10 minutes so that people see my videos more. But I feel like people don't want to watch it if it's too long. So it's like really complicated. I mean, I only have 14 minutes recorded, and usually I edit these things down like halfway or so. I have to do 3 more minutes of stuff to get this to 10 minutes. I don't have anything more to talk about. I mean, it might already be at 10 minutes, but I'm saying probably not. And it's probably not close enough to make stalling worth it, though I am stalling right now. This is uncomfortable. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another dongerlicious video. What?